And good morning, and welcome into the Tuesday morning viewpoint for this Tuesday morning, October the Tuesday, October the 7th, 2025. Uh-oh. I'm your host, Randy Williams. I told you I am in the process of experimenting with and getting it right. We're getting there with our YouTube channel. And so we're presently live on YouTube. Now, I still have a few little bugs to work out in terms of being able to um, create a link from the Facebook page to the YouTube page in terms of live. So for the next morning or so, the Facebook feed is not live, but it will be. I'm working on it. I think this is going to work out better actually with YouTube. Got another learning curve. And since I say I'm a lifelong learner, that shouldn't be a problem, huh? Well, good morning to you. How do you feel this morning? I certainly hope you're feeling good. And, looks like we may be getting ready to get into some fall temperatures in a couple of days. Um, we have a possibility, what do we have? 30% chance of rain on today. So 30% of the area may get rain. And that is more likely to happen if it does this afternoon after 1. And then 20% chance tonight, 20% on tomorrow. But after that, that's it. We don't have any. It doesn't look like there's no forecast for rain. That doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Just because we say there's no rain in the forecast, that doesn't mean the rain won't happen. Sometimes I think we get into that thing too heavy. Perfect weather though. Looks like for this week's barbecue on the green at Sturdivant Hall, and every Saturday when the weather permits, the Strong's Three, best food in the world, is a good place to visit near the corner of Highway 80 and the Kingsbend Road and Sharon with their heavenly slices of cake. I'm telling you, real good, wonderful selection and tasty cake, huh? Let's see, 875-1490 and 1492 are the numbers to call if you have comments or questions. Now, last night, of course, we had the program at Wallace Community College, and the Alabama School of Healthcare Sciences, Dr. Jimmy Martin and his team were on hand to answer questions. And it was not as well attended as I had hoped it would be. Hopefully, these things, I guess they take time. I hope that students and parents realize the opportunity, and it really is a good opportunity to get ahead of the game for young people. And um, a lot of that came out last night. So there's some other specialty schools across the state who have had tremendous success with students getting an early start or a head start, like dual enrollment, and but I'm thinking, and particularly Mobile has that School of Math and Science. I think they probably have a lot of notoriety. Their students have gone on to do some amazing things. The earlier you can identify what your interest is, the earlier a person figures out what they like, the better it is, because then, although all of it is work, it's not painstaking work. It's not the kind of thing that you just if you get into something as a profession that you enjoy doing, it may be work, but it's not like slavery. you, you know, you know, if you have to go to work every day doing something that you don't like, but you have to do it to survive, it may very well be compared to some form of slavery. I'm using an extreme term, and whenever and words do matter. When I use a term like slavery, I'm sure it is going to evoke some very strong emotions. I don't intend to necessarily do that. That's why I know that you know uh, there are a lot of people that intentionally use words to get us excited, but that is not always doesn't always work. Number one, you know, and it is certainly not always the best thing to do. But sometimes, if you have to get a person's attention, you do what you have to do. Let's go to the phone line, and then I'm going to play the interview that I did last night after the program with Dr. Jimmy Martin. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Good morning. I'm disappointed that people didn't go to the program to tried to provide me a man ago, because she get independent of going to the schools and moving every year. And I think that has happened. Many of the young people in that age bracket already made their decisions, because they know it's quite a few things and goodness of expectations. And then by now, many of the children who are in high school have community jobs that they're working on. So they're getting exposed to things too. So well, there were some people there, but it was just a handful, not as many as should. But they're only going to be looking. They're only going to eventually select 100 students statewide. That's going to be like less than one student per county in the state. And then, but I hope that it doesn't happen. And what I see happen so often is when you have the opportunity to get on the ground floor and don't take advantage of it, then you can't get in it later, or somebody, begins to experience failure. Don't point the finger and say, I can't make it if you didn't make the right kind of decisions when you had the choice to do it. Don't complain is my point. I hope so. I sure hope so. But I see a whole lot of young people working in different positions, with part-time. All is well and good, and it may not be, cut out. Everybody may not be cut out for health care, but this, I guess, the bottom line is it's a very rewarding, a financially rewarding profession. You can make money. You can get paid. Is the point? You know what I mean? If you get the right skill set, and if you have the heart for it or passion for it, then it's not as hard to do. Getting up every morning. One thing he said that really stuck with me. I hope the people, and I had to remember myself because I've always been encouraged to be like that. But he said if you have enough discipline as a student or young person to work on time and be neatly dressed, then you won't have any problem getting or keeping a job. Work ethic is what I'm talking about. Well, that's right. We do have to set the example, and I would rather see young folks involved in learning good work ethic and good study habits than going out at 11 o'clock, 11:30, or midnight and shooting the town up. All right, thank you for calling. I understand that there's a learning curve, and let me be frank. When I was a teenager, between Tipton and Selma High School, I was out there too. I was why I could just as easily be caught up in some of the stuff that I see happening now as anyone else. But I don't know, to the grace of God, you know what I mean? We just made it, and so teenagers, regardless of their race, have another kind and another level of energy, and being able to help them um, expose themselves to options. I think is the bottom line. I'm mindful of the study that was done by some of the philanthropic organizations that compared the personality traits of stockbrokers on New York Wall Street in the same age group, the personality traits of the average crack dealer on the street. And they found that they have the same personality traits. The difference is what they were exposed to. Financial literacy is a real issue in a lot of communities. I also heard another report here recently, though, that I was surprised to hear, and that was that, there was a study done on poverty in the United States, and come to find out there were more proportionally more white folks that were impoverished than black people. And so they said, well, now, how do you, that just, that just blows the whole theory of discrimination and segregation and racism being the reason why, it being the main factor in poverty. Well, if that were the case, that mean there wouldn't be no poor white folk. I, I know that sounds crazy. Look, everything is crazy right now. It's getting out of hand. This thing is getting ridiculous. But anyway, so I spoke with Dr. Uh, Jimmy Martin last night after the program. There were some people that came out. It was a low turnout, and so, but at least that's a good start. And patience is a virtue. But if we want to get ahead of the game, if you want to encourage your young people to get ahead and take advantage of all of these opportunities, attitude. I think at the end of the day, for me, it's all about attitude and encouraging a successful attitude. Why in the world would I point to young people and say, "This is why you can't succeed"? No, 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 no. I want to. This is how you succeed, and it starts with having a good work ethic. That thing has got to be pounded into people starting young. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Good morning. How are you? What's on your mind this morning? You said one more time. I didn't quite make you out. I said there's more poor white people than there are black. Yeah. You misinterpret me holding African Americans to a higher standard as opposed to downing a person. I'm not. My thing is, I try to encourage you. We can do better than 2 dead and 14 people shot in Montgomery over the weekend. Oh, you don't think we can do better? Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, you see, you know what? You know what the difference is? I've been out on the street. I've been out there protesting for equal rights. I've been a victim of being discriminated, and I have overcome. So all that is jive in my book. They don't say that, and I'm not. They don't all say it. They don't all say it, but I mean, we got some issues. I'm sorry, we do have some issues, and the different issues. White teenagers and black teenagers have different issues. Culturally, there's some differences. Well, explain this to me. Answer me this. Go ahead. Go ahead. And well, answer me a question. Why is it that the Asian students score so high and keep good records in school? And why is it that their study habits tend to be better? And to the point of where they started discriminating against Asian students, not letting them come into schools in the DC area. What is that all about? Well, tell that to Martin Luther King Jr. Tell that to Thurgood Marshall. I could go down the list of African American intellectuals and personalities that overcame and that were successful because they had good work ethics. And if we don't highlight it, and I don't care if it's black or white, America's gotten further and further behind because we want to have a good time, and we're not focused on the things that make us successful. And at the end of the day, it boils down to having good work ethics. Well, you sure can't keep everybody else out of America, including the Chinese. Yeah, but see, from a historical standpoint, again, there was a time. Speaking of China, when China had to close its doors to. That's one of the reasons why the Great Wall was built, because China had become addicted to opium in Europe, and some of the Arab nations were very intentional about addicting the Chinese population to drugs. And so in this country, drug dealers, again, I just referred to the study that the philanthropic community did, a study in the personality traits of stockbrokers on Wall Street and the average crack dealer with the same personality. In other words, they're salesmen. So on the street level, they're good salesmen. They know how to get people hooked. Well, no, there are programs, and then we have one or two of them right here in Selma, who are having success with helping people turn their lives around. But you got to want to do it first, and that's my whole point. And that's why, yeah, when I hear people talk all that Black Power crap, and you must not be reading the full seven principles of Kwanzaa. We must not be reading this. Now that's even funnier. yeah, yeah, right. Well, okay, well, that's be fine. Sure, it doesn't exist. Ain't nobody out there talking Black Power, but me. I'm the only one talking about it, huh? Who said what? I'm not going to be. I'm not going to get into that name calling thing because that escalates it. I don't even have to say it. You already know. Got to go. Thank you for calling. Viewpoint, you're on the air. Good morning. How are you? What's that? Black Power? Well, I may be guilty of because I know it's implied, and all this what is it called Afrocentrism. It's be fine to have Afrocentrism if you know how to read and write and count. Well, and that's my concern. That's what I'm saying. If those kinds of if that kind of young people, then we wouldn't be having some of these problems that we're watching happen all over the nation. You raised how many young men did you have? Well, let me ask you this. See, now you were a single mother, you raised two children, both male. Well, what makes you so different from everybody else? Why were you able to raise two children and they're not in and out of jail or shooting folks? And what about the young teenage moms? And I know I've known some that they want to, they're still young, they're still teenagers or young adults, and they want to go out and party and have a good time, and don't want to take care of their children, and will put it on someone else. How do you handle something like that? Yeah, and that's what I understand that. Plus, and I know some folks don't want to admit it, but I'm sorry, the government started saying, the more children you have, the more we'll pay you with welfare checks, and as long as you keep a man out the house, you got it made. And there's a lot of people buy into that. Some people don't even want to are in denial that that even happened. Now, see, now what you just said, somebody else just said a few minutes ago that that's white folks calling us lazy. I know that's right. I saw that really play out in Florida. They don't play in Florida. They don't care what color you are in Florida. You go into jail if you break the law and they catch
When you get down there, I'm going to put with the before. I'm told like, I'm sure you're going to put over the list that so many people can put up with you.
And why are there so many help wanted signs? Everybody talking about there ain't no jobs, but every time I turn around, I see a help wanted sign somewhere.
They really don't want to help because I know some of these guys will have to feel right now because you know we want some people it takes forever. You know, people now 3 years ago. It took me 6 months to get a job.
You'd be starved to death by then, huh?
Yeah, you go.
Wow.
But you know you gotta have work ethic, you gotta run work, and then you gotta be respectful. Because I tell them all the time, you ain't gonna go on these people just trying to tell them what to do. They hired you, and you didn't hire them. You know, they give them too much control, and they give.
Well, you said it, and I know you know. See, you're qualified to speak on it, and
I fair, and then I worked there for 14 years, I talked to them. So, these things, brick come down.
I can imagine. But you're doing all right, though. Huh? You sound good.
But I just wanted to call and say that, but you know, enjoy your phone call out there. You'll be good, but I still be listening.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you listening, and whenever you make a contribution, it's always a good, positive contribution. I appreciate that. Well, I understand that. So do I. Sometimes I get a little passionate about some things. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. And I'll be back. I'll be back with more after these messages.
We're with Barry Tucker at Reliable Chevrolet and GMC football season and hunting season. And we're right in the middle of football season. So come on down, folks. If you're getting ready to head out to a high school game or a college game, or maybe even a NFL game, we've got to rise with you from something in good gas mileage all the way up to big Tahoes, Yukons, Suburbans, and Yukon XLs. Or you might want to go with a pickup truck. We got you covered there too. So whatever you're looking for when it comes to traveling, we can fix you up in a brand new Chevrolet or GMC here on the lot, ready to go, ready for you to come in and pick out the one that you want to drive today. And of course, you're not going to let anybody beat the deal that's offered here at Reliable. We've got the we'll put in all the information. We'll spit out the best possibilities. That's right, George. We're not going to sit here and talk about you saving tens and twenty thousands of dollars. We're going to say, hey, come in and sit down with us. Pick out the unit that you want. We're going to pick your zip code in and the unit that you choose, and we're going to let your computer show you all the different choices that you have in saving money right here at Reliable Chevrolet GMC. And don't forget about the great selection of pre-owned automobiles. The great selection of makes, models, and price ranges for you to come by and take a look at today. All service and ready to go. We can do the financing for you. We'll set up with all the major banks, credit unions, and of course, GM Financial. We can handle it all. As I say all the time, we're a one-stop shop. Reliable Chevrolet at GMC, 14th Warren Street, downtown. Phone number 872-2337, or check us out on our website at reliablegmc.com.
Every season is a great season at Hudson State Farm. From holiday storage to spring summer notebook, there is a Hudson State Farm perfect for you. It's always zero down, no credit check, free delivery, and low monthly rent-to-own payments. An Alabama's top-rated #1 selling sports alarm. And don't forget 90-day payment cash. Hudson State Farms are built in Alabama for Alabama. Visit the website, HudsonStateFarms.com. See all the models, including branding styles and sizes. We get more of the 50 different models, styles, and sizes, and have it delivered near you at CottonStateBarns.com. It's the highest quality and most affordable storage solution with the industry's longest front-to-back 6-year warranty. Zero down, no credit check, low monthly breakdown payments. And free delivery anywhere in Alabama. Cotton State Barns, built in Alabama for Alabama.
14 on DWHBB Viewpoint, you're on the air. Well, good morning. How are you? What's happening?
I want to say that I want everyone to pray for we had on the corner and Women's Street. I heard some family members this morning, and
as tragic as it almost was and as bad as it is one of the most positive stories that I've heard in a long time, with people helping each other, helping people and saving his life. I thought that was wonderful. They were neighbors. That's what I remember. Neighbors is all about, being a good neighbor and looking out for each other, and not all this negative stuff that I see. That's a real good positive example. Oh yeah. Yes, when I prayed up, so which month? Okay. I know it's Breast Awareness Month, but what else is it? I know it's Breast Cancer or Breast Awareness Month, but you just use another term. Oh, fire prevention. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, ma'am. Smoke alarms and having an escape plan. Fire prevention is serious. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that he's on the mend. But I thought that again, I compliment that neighborhood and the young men and the older men and just the men, the black men that came out and helped their neighbor. That's contrary to the normal narrative that people push. Mm. Wow. Well, I thought about you immediately because that's right dead smack in your ward, huh? Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Councilwoman. I had almost forgotten that because I had intended to bring it up because we need to lift people up when they do acts of heroism like that. You know, that was brave of those guys to go into a burning house and pull their neighbor out. Unselfish. That's a miracle. That was a miracle. It may still be fire may still be sweltering. A fire can go a long time in a house like that. Right. Thank you, Councilwoman Thomas. Sure appreciate you calling in. I had forgotten. I sure had intended to bring it up. Okay, have a good day. But yep, she's Fire Prevention Month. I'm gonna have to do something on that this month as well. So really, at the end of the day, to kind of answer one of the previous callers about me saying hi, the black community to a higher standard. That's what I mean. That's what I'm talking about. See, I know we can be better, and it's not a racial thing. We have an American problem. Yes, you thank God we live in a capitalist society because one good thing about capitalism, although it's dog eat dog, you can be born poor with nothing and die filthy rich. You can't do that in any of these other forms of government. That's been proven time and time again. So whoever is most prepared when the opportunity hits, usually is the one that gets it done, and race is thrown out the window. Let's take this. Before I take this break, no, let me. I spoke with Dr. Jimmy Martin after the a meeting last night at Wallace Community College, and this is what he had to say about how things went on. So, Doctor, how did things go tonight?
It went very, very well. Attendance wasn't what we wanted, but however, we did have good attendance overall. Very excited, good questions. That was something that was very, very nice.
Tonight.
It went very, very well. Attendance wasn't what we wanted, but however, we did have good attendance overall. Very excited, good questions. That was something that was very, very nice. In fact, there were good questions, things that really, to be honest about it, that everybody needed to know. And that's something when you have questions in these type of information sessions. The thing is what one question one person asks will be the question hundreds of people may ask, and that's what's great about it.
Anything else you'd like to say to our audience?
Well, if anyone is interested in being part of the Alabama School of Healthcare Sciences, please reach out to us through our admissions emails, admissions at alhealthcarehs.org. And we would look forward to hearing from you. If you know of any students that might be interested in our direction, because we're recruiting throughout the state of Alabama.
And that was Dr. Jimmy Martin. Wasn't a large crowd. It was a very small crowd, but there was interest, and people did turn out, and so that's good. This is going to be a statewide initiative, and so if we get one or two from Dallas County or Selma, both, then that would be a success. And the same is true from Perry County and Autauga County and Lowndes County and Montgomery County and the Black Belt, to be proportionally represented. Because as he said the other day, they got the first application they got was from Tuscaloosa. I hear the University of Alabama is coming here too soon. I don't know. I don't know if it was either this Saturday or next Saturday to do some recruiting and to let the high school students know about the opportunities that exist about the University of Alabama. See, that should be splattered everywhere. We know that we heard about the two people killed and 14 wounded in Montgomery over the weekend. Why don't we hear about these other opportunities that can make a difference in a person's life? See, that's what I'm talking about. Let's take this last break. I'll be back with more right after this.
In today's world, repairing your vehicle to showroom condition demands cutting-edge technology. That's what you get at the all-new George's Paint and Body Shop in Selma. After tornado damage, total reconstruction, George's has the latest advanced technology, especially designed for today's multi-tech vehicles. The Bosch calibration system restores safety features like lane departure and collision sensors. The two new Chief Frame machines and computer laser measuring system delivers pinpoint accuracy down to the millimeter. And the two new downdraft paint booth units provide perfect quality refinishing. And with the reconstruction comes a much larger facility designed for an increased capacity and quicker turnaround time. George's deals directly with your insurance company, but they work for you. Call to schedule your estimate and repairs today. See the pros, Eric and Scooter Hagen at George's Paint and Body Shop, 1215 J.L. Chestnut Jr. Boulevard, or call 334-872-1441. The all-new George's Paint and Body Shop has reopened in Selma. Hi, George. Did you know that Alabama has the highest rate of cardiovascular disease events, including death, hospitalizations, and emergency department visits among all 50 states? According to America's Health Rankings, over 12% of adults in Alabama have been diagnosed, well above the national average. That's why we're spreading the word about Alabama vascular specialists here on the radio. It's also why AVS is growing to better serve the patients of this area. Dr. Ralph Red has recently added Dr. Irwin Mike Giddens to the staff, and now AVS proudly welcomes Dr. Richard Tan, who has just arrived from New York. If you or someone you love suffers from high blood pressure, high cholesterol, diabetes, or obesity, they could be on their way to very serious problems with their vascular system if not treated. Talk to your medical provider about AVS, Alabama Vascular Specialists, with offices in Montgomery and Selma, 334-801-9952, online at alabamavascularspecialist.com. We're a reliable Chevrolet and GMC in downtown Selma. Barry Parker, a lot of folks are wondering, when I have trouble with my vehicle, where can I take it? There aren't any like shade tree mechanics and garages around anymore.
That's right, George, but you can bring it right here to us. We service not only the GM products, but we service Ford, Toyota, Nissan, Honda, you name it. We can do all your service work right here. And don't forget, when you get to that fifth oil change, guess what happens? It's free. You heard me right, free. Every fifth oil change is free, and it's not just limited to one per family. It can be 4 or 5 cars in a family. When each and every one of them gets to the fifth oil change, it's free. Just another way we say thank you for doing business with us here at Reliable Chevrolet GMC. We have tires, we have transmission, we have engine, we have oil filter, air filter, brake pads, you name it. We can do it all, and we got the latest and greatest when it comes to front end alignment machine. It looks like you're headed down the airport taking off with all the lights flashing. So come by and see us.
The reliable Chevrolet and GMC, not only your headquarters for service for your automobile, but if you happen to be in the market for a new or used vehicle, nobody better to help you than the folks that have been in business for 79 years.
That's right, George. 79 years, the same location right here at 14th Lawrence Street. We can do the financing for you, set up with all the major banks and credit unions, and of course, GM Financial. The phone number is 872-2337, or the website is reliablegmc.com. We invite you to come down and let us help you with your service and your transportation needs.
At Reliable in Selma, where they truly have it all.
Every woman's life is a journey, and every journey is unique. No matter where life takes you, you deserve compassionate health care every step of the way. Vaughn OBGYN Associates will meet your unique health needs at each stage of your life. Time for your first mammogram, ready to start a family, or need postmenopausal care? Come see the Women's Health Team at Vaughn OBGYN Associates for services close to home. New patients welcome. Most insurance plans accepted, including Medicaid. Be well, live well. That's why we're here.
1490 WHBB. Good morning. We've got about 3 minutes left on this morning's program. We've got several events coming up this month. Vaughn Regional Medical Center in Selma is having their annual Trunk or Treat Bash on Tuesday, October 23rd from 6 until 7 in the parking lot across from Vaughn Surgery Center. The American Red Cross looking for volunteers, critical needs currently, disaster action team volunteers, and blood drive volunteers. There are over 100 volunteers needed. And so we're going to get into talking about the American Red Cross very soon. Miss Sandy Zerderhoek is looking to increase the numbers of volunteers, and we're going to do what we can do to help. Her number is 334-201-1620. And the Central Alabama Fair is right around the corner, November 3rd, Monday, November 3rd through Saturday, November 8th. Vendor booths are available, but no food vendors. The Central Alabama Fair exhibits Into Your Creations, Saturday, November 1st from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. And if you want to send, you can send an email to Mr. Haskell, Russell Haskell at rhaskell44@gmail.com. They'll be coming in soon as we get closer to the Central Alabama Fair in Selma. I know Montgomery has one going on right now, but Selma's Central Alabama Fair is equally as fun. So we certainly want to encourage you to get and be involved with that. Ready to get on out of here. Today is Tuesday, October 7th. Terrible, terrible day. This is the Jewish equivalent of 9/11 in Israel, when Hamas killed over 1,000 people, some of them beheaded, some of them raped, some of them mutilated. And so for that, we're supposed to hold and put Hamas on a pedestal. That's why I say it's getting really crazy. I don't know what's happening in New York. I don't know what's happening in Virginia. But I guess at the end of the day, we'll see when these next elections come up. That will tell us tell me a lot. Stay tuned for Fox News coming up next on WHBB Selma. I'll see you tomorrow morning, the good Lord willing. It is 9:00.
A historic betrayal of public trust. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. That's what Attorney General Pam Bondi just told Senators